All right, Bruce Badgley, Dell Jackson, and our first Coach's Corner interview here on Pick and Roll, Kerry Glover, coach at Columbia. Coach, welcome. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Well, good. We record these on Sunday evening, so there's a little bit of a lag between the time that we're recording this and when we actually broadcast it. But, you know, Coach, you're off to an undefeated start. A big win, actually, over York Catholic here, yesterday. So kind of a double whammy there, too. You're 8-0 and, really just beat your closest opponent in the district power rankings. So talk a little bit about, how your team's playing so far this season.
They're playing extremely well. Our focus coming into the season was, of course, not having any true bigs and not having a lot of size. Focus was making sure that we took our conditioning up to another level and just making sure that we can pressure the basketball 94 feet and, just keep it going nonstop all game long for 4 quarters. And the job these guys, this group that I have here, man, the job that they're doing is just it's been amazing.
Now you got a question for Coach?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're off to this great start, Coach, and we'll do a little coach speak. Just talk about your preparation. You have a veteran team, so let's talk about some of your players, your starters, your bench guys. Tell us what everybody brings to the table.
So this year, the makeup of my team with my starting 5. 3 of those guys are seasoned. Obviously, my 3 senior core with Javon Collazo, Robert Footman Jr., and my son Kerry. Those guys, they've been playing together since 3rd grade with AAU and things like that. And then they're that trio are the best of friends off the court. So it makes life a lot easier on the court. And then I have a junior, Aiden. Aiden is my quote unquote big, tough as nails, about 6'2", but his heart is much bigger. And he's one of those kids that you love to have as a part of your program, because he's our glue guy in that first 5, and he never misses practice, he always on time, never complains. He just does all of the little things. And then rounding out my starting 5 is a sophomore, Braylon Miller, who he played sort of the 6-man role for us last season, but this is his first opportunity as a starter and getting heavy minutes, and he's responded pretty well.
Talk a little bit about the way that you guys like to schedule your non-conference here. Last Saturday there, you had a good game here against York Catholic. You've got important game Monday with Susquehanna Township, correct?
Yes.
And so is there any kind of philosophy that you and the athletic director, when you sit down and put a schedule together, what you're trying to accomplish in a non-league format?
So for me, my focus is always to try to I like to try to schedule some big schools that have the size and the athleticism that I know we won't see on a normal basis in our classification of 3A. So last year we were able to get William Penn and some schools like that. This year we were able to get Susquehanna Township and obviously having a traditional year in, year out program like York Catholic that has a lot of history and they're always very solid. Getting a school like that on our schedule early in the season so our guys can understand for whatever reason Section 5 doesn't necessarily get a lot of love and respect. So for me, I like to play whoever, and my guys know my mentality. we'll play whoever whenever we get a chance to show that we're not just a good team in Section 5. Like, we can compete against whoever, whether it be, the Berks League, LL League, York Adams, Mid-Penn. We'll play anybody. The ball needs to bounce and the game needs to be played.
Yeah, Dell, you had a question?
Yeah, I want to talk to Coach about your scheduling for this weekend. I was working on a schedule, and you and I were back and forth. Talk to me about the I don't even know what to call it. Maybe you can help me. It was a Martin Luther King. Is it a tournament? Is it a shootout? It's at Chambersburg, at least part of it. Go ahead and give us some background on that.
Yeah, so the Chambersburg at the AD at Chambersburg, Ron Corsi, he used to be the AD at William Penn a few years ago. So that's when we first got connected. Obviously, everyone knows I'm a York guy. So he had left York High and he went to Woodland Hills up in Pittsburgh. And then now he's back in this area at Chambersburg. So they have this Hoops for Hope MLK shootout where there's schools from all over the place. Pittsburgh, the Philly area, all over, different teams around Central PA. I know York High is playing in it. Harrisburg High is playing in it. Obviously Chambersburg, and you have just a bunch of different schools. So our schedule this year was kind of for whatever reason it got thrown off a little bit. We were literally, I say, maybe a week away from first day of the official start to the season, and we were like 6 games short.
Wow.
So I was left scrambling, trying to figure out how to pick up some games to make sure that we were able to get to 22 games. And this was one of the games that I picked up. I reached out, just wanted to see if we were able to get in. And again, it was one of those situations where normally maybe not, where small Columbia, Section 5, 3A, and mostly everybody in there is 5A, 6A schools. But our previous relationship, he just asked me straight up, Coach, can you guys compete? And I'm like, yeah, we can compete. Like, give us a shot. And whoever you match us up against, that's who we'll face. So we ended up originally we were supposed to play Woodland Hills, who is traveling down, but there was a change to the schedule, and we're now playing Berlin Brothers Valley out of Berlin, PA. I believe there's District 5 or District 7 team. So I've been getting some film on them the last day or two as I started preparing myself for that. I think it's just be big for my guys, seeing someone not from this area, looking at their style of play and how we match up against those guys.
I think it's great preparation for you, especially this season, to see different schools, and really you kind of have an idea of how good this team is, or how good, where your level is to compete with them. But just to be prepared for what's beyond the LL. Obviously you guys got goals for the LL and for Section 5, and I'll throw a big bone out for you. I think, I might be wrong, but I think you've gone 2 years in a row without a loss in Section 5. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So not to put the jinx on you, but that I think that'll help you down the road and for the district. So we have another big game. LLHoops is live streaming your game at Mennonite this week, and that's kind of who you guys been banging up against here the last couple of years. Talk to me a little bit about Mennonite and what you know about them.
They're a resilient group, well coached. I have some different relationships with a few players that's over there due to me having an AAU program over at the Nook with the Raiders. So a couple of those guys have come through our program, and very good kids, very talented basketball players. We look forward to that battle. My first few years at Columbia, Mennonite was a machine. That Mennonite was one of the schools that I, for myself, personally, as a coach and the leader of this program, beating Mennonite was one of the hurdles I wanted to make sure I was able to get over. And they had some, some terrific players with Javon Terry and Elijah Terry, and the list just kept going on year after year. And I'm like, they graduate players and don't miss a beat. Sort of the same with Lancaster Catholic. So that was just one of my goals, was for me and my program to be able to get over that hurdle.
Nice.
Well, I tell you what, you're off to a great start so far. How do you keep your guys grounded now? Okay. I mean, you've got obviously a conference schedule coming up, obviously peppered in with some non-conference games, but how do you keep these guys grounded on the fact of, you still have the vast majority of your schedule to go to before you even get to district play? How do you kind of, like I said, not coast, but how do you motivate these guys throughout the entire season to perform at a high level?
One of the big things that I appreciate this group is just being able to have a short-term memory. Whether you win or you lose, going to lose some games, or it's a part of the process. But you just got to be able to forget it and move on. And when you're winning games, obviously keep in mind the things that got you to that point, but don't stay stuck on it, because each game presents a different challenge. So that's what I really, really, really stress to this group, because our guys off the bench, they're students of the game. They're young. I have one junior and the rest are sophomores and one freshman. But I coach those guys up and put them in situations to where any pressure that they see in the game, they'll be familiar with. So I just tell those guys, like, hey, just got to put your big boy pants on. This isn't junior high or freshman ball anymore. You're out here with the big boys, so you got to make sure that you don't let the big boys walk all over you.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I'll be there Thursday, streaming the game with you and Mennonite there. LLHoops will be streaming that game on Thursday. That should be quite the battle. And, Section 5. And then when we get into district play, I got a feeling we're going to see you guys a lot down the road. So, Coach, thank you very much for your time. And best of luck the rest of the season, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything from you guys. You guys do an awesome job highlighting our players.
Well, great. Thank you so much, gang. All right. And Dell and I will be back with the rest of the show here in a moment. Take care now.
Thank you.